guys, I'm Hashleen Kaur. So today's lesson is all about a data cube and its operations. So here in this picture I have is a data cube, and suppose there is a company which has a very complex query that it wants to know about certain products in a particular city with various time ranges such as in Q1, Q2, etc. So that is done using a data cube. So let's see that in the further lesson, and also please don't forget to subscribe to.
Hello everybody, welcome to lesson number 6, that is OLAP cube and its operations. I am Hashleen Kaur and there's a small description about myself. I am currently working as a research associate at Gartner, and I've also been as an educator with Yon Education for the past 3 years. I've completed my BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Jain University, Bangalore, and I'm also an active Ed Support volunteer at Make a Difference. So starting off with, what is an OLAP cube? This picture here you can see is an OLAP cube, and an OLAP cube is basically a multi-dimensional database which is used to enhance or optimize a data warehouse. And an OLAP is basically a method of saying that data is being stored in a multi-dimensional form. That is, a data is being stored in dimensions which has particular attributes, and that is broken down into further sub-attributes. So as you all can see, product is one dimension, city is one dimension, time is one dimension. So we break that further down according to the queries. So an OLAP cube is basically used to interact with the data set in a data warehouse. So the query language that it uses is called as multidimensional expression, which is called as MDX. So moving further, we're going to be learning about the OLAP operations which are done on the data set. So we have 5 main operations, which is rollup, drill down, slice, dice, and pivot, which is also called as rotating. So the first one we see here is rollup. So rollup is basically used when we are following an approach which is aggregating something. So as you all can see in this example, I'll just zoom into this example. Yeah, so as you all can see here, we have in this cube, we have various cities like Chicago, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, and we have various quarters here. But now, using a roll-up operation, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling up all these cities to a country. So, as you all can see, after rolling up, the quarters remain the same as it is. But what happens to the locations? All the cities coming in USA get summed up in USA, and all the cities coming in Canada get summed up as Canada. So, this has been aggregated to countries. So firstly, here we could see was cities, and now we can see is country. So here the attribute has been changed. So this is nothing but roll up. So here what we do is nothing but we group data within data, and whenever roll up is formed, one or more dimensions are removed. As you all can see, we've removed dimensions and we have reduced the dimensions. Second, we have is the drill down operation. So drill down operation is completely opposite of the roll up operation. So in drill down operation, what happens is we don't aggregate things, but we further divide the data attributes into further sub data attributes. So here in this example, it's a very similar example wherein again we have 4 cities here, and the time here is broken down into months but not into quarters. So this is our first data cube, wherein in the previous data set we had it in quarters. So in drill down, what we do is we're going to be breaking down these quarters into per month. So we are dividing the data here. We're not adding or summing up the data here. So it's the same thing. The cities don't get affected, but only the quarters get affected, and all the data is now divided this way with respect to the months. So this gives us more clarity on what is happening in that particular month in that particular city. So this is the drill down operation. And in drilling down operation, always one or more dimensions are added, as we saw. So it is completely reverse of roll up operation where dimensions are removed, but in drill down operation dimensions are added. So third we have is the slicing operation. So the slicing operation basically selects one particular dimension from a given cube and forms a new subcube. So a slicing operation basically gives us only a single view. It doesn't give us a multi-dimensional view, but gives us a single view but a detailed view. So let's see this example. Yeah, here again we have all the 4 cities and we have all the 4 quarters. So here we want to slice the data completely only for quarter 1. So we don't want to see quarter 2, 3 and 4. So when we are slicing for time Q1, this is the query and this is the set that we get, which is only the data which is being shown is for Q1 and for all the 4 cities separately. So this is nothing but the slicing operation. So what did slicing operation do? It basically formed a new subcube. It has formed a new subcube by selecting one or more dimensions. So it was very simple, the slicing operations. Now comes the dicing operation. So the dicing operation, what it does is it selects 2 or more dimensions from a given cube and forms a subcube. But what did the slicing operation do? It selected only one dimension, but the dicing operation will select 2 or more dimensions. Okay, so again let's see. Yeah, so this was our main input data cube. So now we are putting 2 or more conditions here. So the first condition is we want to dice only for location Toronto or Vancouver, and we want to dice only for quarter 1 or quarter 2. And one more condition is we want our item only mobile or modem. We don't want to see any other item. So now what has happened? Our new data cube has been formed wherein we can only see data for Toronto, Vancouver, both for quarter 1, quarter 2, and the product shown is mobile and modem. So this is how this has become a very, very detailed data cube with all the conditions that we asked for. So this is the query that has been run, and the dice cube basically works on the cube and it selects a criteria involving 3 dimensions. So here we have divided the data into 3 dimensions. So I think it's easy to understand that how it is very different from the slicing operation. And the next operation is the pivot operation, which is also known as rotation. So this is very simple. It completely rotates the data axis in the view to provide an alternative presentation of data. It is going to provide us the same data here with no conditions applied, but it is only going to reverse the data. So maybe we can understand the data better from a different point. So here again, as we see, we have 4 products, that is mobile, modem, phone, security, for 4 locations. And when we are pivoting it, what is happening? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but the Chicago, that is the city axis, has gone down and the product axis has come up. So it's the same thing, but only the display of data is reversed. So that is the pivot operation. So this is about all the 5 operations. So we can just revise all the 5 operations. So roll up helps us to aggregate data, and roll up, that is, here we had cities, but we're rolling up to countries. The second thing was drill down. In drill down, we are dividing the operations further. So suppose we had quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 products given. We're going to be dividing it down into various months, which is going to give us a better view of the data set. Third was slicing. In slicing, we give one particular condition and we look at the new subcube. And in dicing, we give 2 or more conditions and we look at the further subcube as to how we gave 3 conditions here, and this was our new data set. And pivot is nothing but rotating the entire data set, the same data set, but from a different view. So that's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much. Please do rate, review and recommend the lessons to all your other friends who might be needing it. Happy learning, and you all can also follow me on this link here on the Unacademy Learning app. Thank you so much.